a crisis at the border. Just last year in November, he said, we're seeing a significant challenge. When you see over 5 million illegal immigrants come across our border, that's not a challenge. That is a crisis. And we're unwilling, it seems like, to admit that crisis is happening. So after 2 years of gaslighting, obstruction, stonewalling, and lies, we're finally able to hear straight from the source. So I want to thank Chief Maudlin and Chief Chavez for being here this morning. I have 3 questions, really, that I want to get to, and I have about 3 minutes left, so not a lot of time, if you'll bear with me. I'm kind of curious about your testimony, your joint testimony today. The funding, you mentioned a couple of different ways that the Border Patrol could be supported, but the funding to construct a border wall was missing from your testimony. Why is that? Either of you can answer.
Congresswoman, thank you for the question. As I said, the Border Patrol would certainly appreciate any increases in funding.
That it was missing from your testimony. And so you both have said today that barriers, walls, whatever we want to call it or nuance it, is needed. So why was it missing from your testimony?
Ma'am, I believe what I testified to was that we would appreciate any increase in personnel, technology,
Did someone
and
from
infrastructure.
DHS tell y'all to remove it from your written testimony that was submitted to oversight? Was there discussion about the wall? Was it going to be in there and then it was taken out? Why was it missing? If it's so needed, and you're saying it in your oral arguments today, and I appreciate it. This is not a gotcha, but it is important. I've been down to the border. I've seen it. Agents, I believe there's a great need to have certain barriers, but why was it missing?
Ma'am, earlier I testified to the effectiveness of it. I was not asked to remove anything about border wall system from my testimony.
Okay. And I do appreciate your comments, because I know that Chief Chavez, you said back in 2019, your testimony, and to the former president, that we need a border barrier. Both of you, in your testimony today, Tohono O'odham Nation, you said, Chief Maudlin, that barriers in certain locations are certainly helpful. I would just appreciate in testimony in the future that we have a real conversation, that it's in the written testimony, because it is so important, and many of us know that.
Great question here by Congresswoman Nancy Mace, asking why, if the border wall is so important, was it not in the written testimony? Well, that's because Biden's DHS and Secretary Mayorkas probably don't want these officers, these Border Patrol agents, rather, who are on the front lines of this crisis every single day, saying in written testimony for the record, forever and ever, the congressional record, that this country needs a border wall. Because that flies in the face of the Joe Biden open border policy agenda. That flies in the face of what the Democrats screamed for years and years about Donald Trump's border wall, that it was racist and xenophobic and homophobic even. Gosh, I'm sure there's a Democrat on the record saying that somewhere. They don't want people who do these jobs every single day to speak up. Because if they actually had the people on the front lines of these issues talk, it would reveal that their agenda flies in the face of any real, tangible policy solution. Donald Trump put forth real, tangible policy solutions. The border wall was one of them. And they don't want to secure the border. Mayorkas and the upper echelon of Biden's administration, they don't care about good men and women like this who are on the front lines of that crisis, grappling with it and dealing with it every day. Not just an immigration crisis, a humanitarian crisis too. Some of the stuff that these poor Border Patrol agents have to see is tragic. It will leave you scarred for the rest of your life. But Biden and the rest of them, they don't care. They care about continuing their wide open border policies so they can earn more votes. Simple as that.